It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Thanks for tuning in on this early Monday morning and taking a break from all the negativity that clouds our airwaves just a little bit too much, with some positive programming about our community leaders and business and entrepreneurs who are making a difference inside the Tampa Bay community. Always looking for content for the programming, so if you are a business owner or a community leader and like to get your message out over across the airways, please reach out to me. Jamie at tampabayradio.com is my email address, or recommended best way to get in touch with me is through my contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Always, again, looking for different types of content. No charge. Come in here one time as a guest, so please don't let that stop you. We have to fill 2 hours of programming each and every day, 5 days a week. So
and we can't talk about wrestling the whole time.
Can't talk about wrestling, can't talk about real estate all
or
that
Pokemon.
much. Or at least I wouldn't have much of an audience if that's all we did. Although there is an audience for the wrestling talk and stuff. Maybe
there
not
is a niche for it, yes.
There is. I used to enjoy listening to old Bubba the Love Sponge talk about wrestling back in the day when I used to listen to morning radio and stuff. So
we actually have a new show that's based on nothing but wrestling. All they do is sit there and argue wrestling.
Yeah, they used to cover that topic all the time there on his morning show and stuff. So I like wrestling. Pretty broad industry out there. I see Vince McMahon moving in on UFC or something now too, right?
I guess so. That's the rumor.
That's
but
the rumor.
His golden boy Brock Lesnar just got busted for steroids after his last fight.
Oh,
so,
he did? Oh,
yeah.
gosh, yeah, that's horrible. I was surprised even McMahon.
So much for that wellness program, Vince.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, he already had that big issue there in the 90s, which turned his business on its head there with the steroid abuse. But, yeah, his name's been floated around a few times here with this UFC sale, so I'm wondering if he does pick it up, if he's going to keep the brands completely separate or if he's going to try to merge them. If he does, it'll help the WWE, but it's going to kill UFC because it's obviously real versus fake. I mean, you can't make,
Never call wrestling fake.
No, it's a show, I say. It's a soap opera for men, as I like to call it. So, but
that's even worse. Just saying.
Well, it makes sense. It works when I'm talking to females because then they understand it. Like, why are you watching that? So I don't understand. And when I say it's a soap
just
opera,
greasy men in their underwear. Like, you wouldn't like that female? Come on.
But as soon as I say it's a soap opera for men, they're like, oh, okay, I understand that now. Especially the ones who love those Spanish novellas and things like that. Because I
love those. Wait, I didn't say that. Never mind.
I like this.
Back to wrestling.
I love them too. I just like to watch them. I have no idea what they're saying. But
Me neither.
The women on
One time I was watching it, my stepdad was like, "Does he speak Spanish now?" My mom's like, "I don't know. Why does he watch this?"
Good program plan for you for this hour. We'll be talking all about cooperative, concierge medicine. I got 2 very accomplished medical professionals in studio on the second half of today's program. We'll be talking to Dr. Eric J. Kroll. He was also just our speaker at our latest main event, so you can learn more about him. And we got this up on our YouTube channel for the Tampa Bay business owners. You can see his entire discussion over there, and I'll get that link posted up on the show recap as well. But a very good discussion on direct primary care, and so we'll be discussing that with him. And also Dr. Michael O'Neill, who's my guest on this first half of the hour. He is the founder of Cooperative Med, and you can learn more about him over at cooperativemed.com. So Dr. Michael O'Neill, thank you, and welcome to the program today.
Thanks, Jamie. I really like the wrestling segue into our discussion about medicine.
We never know what we're going to cover on here, and I come in here with no plan each morning other than the guest and whatever it is you tell me you want to talk about.
Like, seriously, do we look like people with plans?
No, I really don't. And some mornings I come in here, and I wish I didn't come in here some mornings, so I can't even believe I get through some of my shows. Sometimes.
I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth until it does.
I'm doing pretty good today because I'm on literally 2 hours of sleep, and I'm always concerned when I come into a show on little sleep because I'm like, I can't think straight. I have no idea what this
I didn't go to bed till
about.
like 3, and I had to be up at 5.
So fortunately, though, I seem to be doing pretty good today. So my mind's flowing, and the questions are popping into my head. But when they don't, it can make for a long show. So, Doctor, first off, let's talk about the basics. What is concierge medicine?
Well, concierge medicine is basically a low-volume medical practice that is supported by annual membership fees or monthly fees that are paid by patient subscribers. This allows the physician to keep their volume low, which in turn allows us to provide certain services and amenities that are nearly impossible in a high-volume medical setting.
Okay, and so they pay a membership fee for this, and then there is a plate of services that is then offered with this annual fee, correct?
Correct. I always refer to it as a service fee or an access fee, because essentially that's what it is, at least in my practice or in most concierge practices, is that you pay an annual fee to be a part of a low volume environment, which is the antithesis of what we're used to, the traditional high volume managed care driven medical practices. So because of the low volume of patients that's supported by a single physician, that physician can then in turn devote more time and energy to each individual healthcare
So for your
consumer.
patients that are taking advantage of concierge medicine when they come to see you in the doctor's office, what can they expect them? Because I know when I go to the doctor's office, I kind of feel like I'm under pressure. They're in and out, they're rushing, and they get 5 minutes of time with them. What can they expect when they visit a concierge doctor?
Well, it really revolves around the individual. So when our patients come to the office, there's little or no waiting. There's extended time spent with the physician. I'll spend up to 2 hours with a patient on their initial visit.
Wow.
Our average time with follow-up visits is about 35 minutes. If you take that into context, you're spending 0 time in the waiting room and anywhere from 35 minutes to 2 hours with the physician. It's pretty good use of your time.
So you're saying your waiting room has no waiting then?
I don't even, it's not a waiting room. It's the waiting room where people don't wait.
That's your stinks.
It seems like they spend a lot of time with them, but Liam Neeson over here said before the show that they have a lot of time during the weekend. So it's actually better for the doctor themselves, right? I mean, you guys free up a lot of time where otherwise you wouldn't have that time. You'd be constantly working, right?
It is. It's not that we work less, we just work smarter. It's a more manageable environment. So, instead of me hustling to see 40 patients a day and spending, 7 or 8 minutes with each individual patient, I can spend more time and energy with fewer patients, and it just makes
It just
it
seems
more
to me
enjoyable.
because the monthly fees or the annual fees are not too expensive, right? I mean, if you want to quote your fees and stuff, to tell people what to expect. I mean, what are they like?
Yeah, I mean, in concierge medicine, the annual fee for an individual is around $1,600. Ours is $1,695, but that's the market average nationwide.
Amazing.
And that's really very, very reasonable. I mean, if you think about it, it's about the cost of going to Starbucks every day.
So how many different people can you then see over the course of a year using your practice here?
Well, I personally believe that a concierge physician can effectively manage the care of between 450 and 600 patients. When you get around 600 patients, the services that you offer are diluted somewhat. It gets a little more difficult to provide, the level of service and some of the amenities that we offer. But I personally prefer to be around 450 to 500 patients. Now, keep in mind, the average primary care physician in the United States manages the care of 3,500 patients, and there are several doctors in Pinellas and Hillsborough counties that have over 10,000 patients.
Now, as a business owner, though, you're not accepting insurance. That's the trade-off here. You're taking, and that's where you're getting the additional time. You're not dealing with insurance.
Well, that's one of the differences between concierge medicine and direct primary care, and Dr. Krall will probably talk a little bit more about that. But in most concierge practices, they do work with certain commercial insurances and maybe even Medicare, depending on the practice. So the concierge model, at least the model I introduced back in 2002, was designed to complement insurance, not replace insurance.
So why did you take this direction in healthcare? Did you practice traditional medicine with the insurance companies prior to opening up a concierge practice?
No, I never practiced in a traditional environment other than in residency. And that was the main reason I got into it, was during residency at the University of South Florida College of Medicine. As the chief resident, I had 2,000 patients. And again, that's lower than the average primary care physician practicing full-time in the community. But with 2,000 patients, there were times where patients would pass away and I wouldn't even know who they were. I wouldn't remember patients' names. I couldn't remember their care plan. And that's not what I signed up for. So I decided, that I was going to introduce a concept to Tampa that was more capable of meeting the expectations of not only myself, but also the healthcare consumer.
And I'm hearing more and more about direct primary care and concierge medicine. Is this kind of a movement within healthcare as a result of the Affordable Care Act, or is it just a natural, swing in the economy with healthcare providers?
Well, what most people don't realize is that concierge medicine has been around for 20 years. When I introduced my practice in 2001, 2002, there was only about 50 of us in the United States doing it, and nobody had created one from scratch at that point. They were all transitioned practices where you had an existing high-volume practice and you transitioned it over to a low-volume membership-based practice. And the growth was very slow until about 2009, and then there was a bump in the number of retainer-based physicians. And then between 2011 and 2012, there was a 25% increase. So in 2002, there was only 50 of us, and now there's an estimated over 5,000 doctors practicing in either concierge or direct primary care medicine, so substantial change. But still, 5,000 doctors is a small representation of the primary care workforce.
Now, the doctors that are not buying into this model, is it because they believe, or are they leaving money on the table by not working more with the traditional medical model?
No, it's because they're Democrats.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Well,
I'm just kidding.
I'm not sure. Physicians traditionally are not very savvy businessmen, and it's not by fault of our own. It's that we're not trained to be business people. When I came out and started the practice, I think part of my success can be contributed to being naive. If I would have known a lot of what I had to go through back then and the struggles and the obstacles, I may have chosen a different path. But I think that's what restricts a lot of physicians from deviating from the status quo. And, but there will be a continued increase in the number of physicians practicing in this type of practice model.
Good information here on That Business Show. Currently talking to Dr. Michael O'Neill, founder of Cooperative Med, and you can learn more about him over at cooperativemed.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Threw me off.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Crash in Seminole at Park Boulevard and Seminole Boulevard. Also some delays on the Courtney Campbell Causeway near Rocky Point in both directions. Reports of a minor crash out that way. Southbound 275 jammed up between Fletcher Avenue and Dr. King. And a crash being cleared on US 301 south of Balm Road. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Today, near record heat with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 94. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance with a high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to the program, That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Currently talking to Dr. Michael O'Neill, founder of Cooperative Med. You can learn more at cooperativemed.com. So, Dr. O'Neill, what makes your business, Cooperative Med, so unique?
Well, I think probably the most unique aspect of the practice is that we are more capable of developing a collaborative relationship with our patients, whereby the physician and the patient are healthcare partners. And this is all within a low-volume primary care home. So it just becomes a more efficient healthcare delivery system.
And you do accept insurance. That differs from what we're going to talk about with Dr. Eric Krall there, that is direct primary care, and he does not accept insurance. So you do accept insurance. I want to make sure that's clear. So what services are provided in the membership fee?
We do accept some insurances. And as I said earlier, the membership fee really is an access fee. So it allows me to provide you with certain services and amenities that I just wouldn't be able to do in a practice that has thousands of patients. You know, direct access to my cell phone, extended visits as we discussed, home visits. I go to patients' office to see them. I scrub surgeries with surgeons. I go to parent-teacher meetings. I mean, the list goes on, but I'm able to do these things because of the way the practice is set up.
Now, are there limits on the number of times a patient can come to see you throughout the year? And do you offer telemedicine on top of your standard practice?
There's no limits. We don't place any limits on, access to care. Obviously, if I can, for convenience sake, if I can avoid having you come to the office and manage something remotely, that's to your advantage. We do use telehealth. In fact, we developed a very novel telehealth program using peripheral technology where we actually manage small populations of patients in Los Angeles and Miami. And after establishing a a personal physical relationship with the patient, face-to-face encounter. We then use tele or peripheral technology to manage care remotely, and a referral base of subspecialty physicians in that area for urgent care needs.
Now, the fee that people pay for the membership fee, can this be charged back to their insurance companies? Can FSAs, flexible spending accounts, be used to also offset that cost?
That's a great question. It does not function as a form of insurance, nor does it replace insurance. However, if you have a HSA or a flex account, oftentimes you can pay most, if not a portion, of your membership fee through those accounts.
Are there any other additional fees on top of the annual fee?
Well, I mean, a lot of that depends upon the nature of the services provided. So, you know, if you're getting vaccinations, or if I do a shoulder injection, you know, there might be additional fees above and beyond.
Now, what if one of your patients needs to visit the hospital? Are you allowed to? Do you have visiting rights to go in and out of the hospital as a concierge doctor? Any restrictions on that?
I manage all my hospital patients, so I admit the patients, and then I will manage their care during the hospitalization.
So no restrictions on that. What if they need a specialist in something? Do you have a network that you refer within, or would they at that point probably go to their insurance with somebody like yourself then?
Yeah, I have a local network, and then I also have a national network too, because a lot of my patients, you know, if they want something done and it's an elective procedure or elective medical concern, then they may want the best. So what I've tried to do over the last 14, 15 years is create this national network of people, and a lot of my patients will fly to some of my collaborating physicians in other cities and states.
So who should join Cooperative Med? Who would benefit most from your services in the area?
Well, honestly, there's a wide diversity of patients that join the practice. The medically complex really benefit from it because of the ability of the physician to provide more time to those complex individuals. And anyone who wants to be a proactive participant in their healthcare and is willing to be a partner with their physician.
And you're currently accepting new patients. You haven't hit your limit, correct?
Well, I have hit my limit, but I have a new physician, and we are adding new patients right now. But
hypochondriac soccer moms just got excited all over Tampa Bay, I think.
Well, they can reach out to you at cooperativemed.com or send an email, info@cooperativemed.com. So Dr. Michael O'Neill, thank you so much for being in studio. Good information.
Thanks, guys.
And again, he is the founder of Cooperative Med. And again, learn more at cooperativemed.com and then email info@cooperativemed.com. We'll be talking to Dr. Eric J. Crawl when we come back from the break. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Billmeyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Billmeyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
This report is brought to you by Papa Lock.
It took you 6 months to find the perfect house, and now you're finally moving in. But there's no telling who else has a key. So you call a name you trust. Papa Lock.
Call the locksmiths at Papa Lock. We'll make sure your home is safe and secure.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecasts. Low mid-90s to start the week, with a 30% chance of scattered showers and storms. Overnight low near 80 degrees, upper 70s. We'll see the same forecast for tomorrow. Then by midweek, rain chance back up to around 50%. And see temperatures back near the low 90s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 here on Tampa Bay's 1250 Wins WHNZ. Live video stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, keep in mind you can listen to the program anywhere in the world on the iHeartRadio smartphone app. Just download that. That is free on the iOS and the Android operating systems. And look for 1250 WHNZ. And you can listen to a lot of different stations on that thing as well. So it's a pretty handy little app and available on the smartphone, the stores there, the app stores. Time to bring in my next guest for the program, Dr. Eric J. Krall, family physician and owner of MyDPC Doc Family Medicine. And you can learn more about him at mydpcdoc.com. So, Dr. Krall, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Jamie.
So I need to distinguish here because we were talking at the top there that I was going to be talking all about concierge medicine, but there's a difference between concierge and what you do, which is direct primary care. So tell us about this.
Yeah, the main difference is the way that we go about limiting the hassles of dealing with insurance. We both have the same objective: spend time with our patients, deliver that personalized care. But as a direct primary care doctor, I do not bill insurance at all, so I get rid of my administrative insurance hassles by completely eradicating insurance. And that allows me to strip the overhead that's associated with billing insurance.
Oh my God, he even used the same verbiage as Liam Neeson.
We got Liam Neeson looking like people are like, what's he even talking about Liam Neeson?
Actually, he mentioned something to me during the break that made a little bit more sense. Now I'm thinking he's the culmination of Liam Neeson and Tom Cruise getting into a car wreck.
See that. So you got to check out the video stream over at Tampa Bay Radio.
We have to legitimize my job, basically. That's what we're doing.
So does your practice, is it similar in the sense that somebody pays a monthly or a membership fee and they can come in as many times as they like to the practice? Tell me a little bit more about how direct primary care differs from concierge.
Yeah, in direct primary care, generally it's a monthly fee because we have to be careful when we're telling someone you pay a monthly fee and you can come in as often as you want. And
you get some hypochondriac in there. He's in there every other day.
Not worried about the hypochondriacs.
No, he's like, please, soccer moms, come to me.
We worry about the insurance commissioner because we are not insurance companies. The law protects us that way. But the insurance commissioner in some states look at direct care and they say, well, you sound a lot like an insurance company, and they think they have a right to question that. So we have the fee monthly, and it's paid after the service is delivered to distinguish.
I'm a little confused there. So the insurance commissioner is looking at your practice. If you're seeing people,
no, not my practice.
Because I failed to make that connection there. Explain that a little bit more for me.
Well, when you're not billing insurance at all,
okay,
and you're telling a patient you can come in as often as you need to, and you're paying a monthly amount, that sounds like an insurance product.
Oh, it sounds like you're with the insurance company.
You don't have to pay anything else.
Okay, I see.
So we charge monthly to help distinguish, and you're paying after the service is delivered, so it's not an insurance premium. It's an access fee for sure, but you're paying it every month after the service is delivered.
Okay, and so what would who would benefit? I asked the same question in the last segment with Dr. O'Neill. Who would benefit most from direct primary care? I think a lot of times people associate these types of services for people that are more affluent, people with more money to spend versus the average consumer. Who is the ideal candidate for somebody for direct primary care?
Well, I agree with Dr. O'Neill. It's the people who have a lot of chronic medical problems benefit the most because now they have unlimited visits. I could see someone who needs to lose weight every week if I wanted to, and they're not paying any more for it. Direct primary care is priced low because of the lower overhead that we have, and so someone with no insurance certainly can benefit from direct care. Someone with a high deductible plan who realizes that they have to pay out of their pocket until they reach their deductible now has an option of having a primary care doctor for a low monthly fee. So
with the Affordable Care Act, there's a penalty if you don't have insurance. Do you guys kind of like wipe that? If they can prove that they're getting care through you, does that count towards them having, I guess, coverage?
it does not, because as I said, we are not insurance companies. So somebody that's paying us a monthly fee, that's not an insurance premium, and it does not meet that requirement. But if you pair it with a high deductible plan that does meet the minimum essential requirements, then now you have a high deductible plan, you're exempt from paying taxes, or paying a tax penalty, and whenever you need care, you get it as often as you need it.
Now, what happens when somebody needs a specialist and they're dealing with a direct primary care doctor such as yourself? Do they have to kind of just go out on their own, or do you have a network of service providers that you also work with?
They are never on their own. We are their advocate for whatever they need. So if they have an insurance plan, they have to follow the network for that insurance. If they are completely uninsured and we are their only health resource, then we know which doctors out there are cash friendly, so to speak. And so we help them find a specialist at a relatively low or lower cost than they would if they were going out of their pocket.
So you would recommend to somebody to have insurance and then use direct primary care then for their primary care physicians instead of using the insurance for the general office visits that they go every year?
Absolutely. We want everybody to have insurance that covers them in a catastrophe.
Right.
But you mentioned in the last hour game changer. Mm-hmm. This is a game changer of a different sort, because once you have a doctor that you're paying a low monthly fee for, that you can see unlimited amount of time, then you can go get a catastrophic insurance plan at a much lower cost. Insurance was intended to be used to cover us for high cost, low probability events. We shouldn't be using our health insurance to pay for our primary care and our chronic illnesses. So,
and as I asked Dr. O'Neill, is this a movement in healthcare as a result of the Affordable Care Act? And are we going to see more and more doctors practicing direct primary care and concierge over the coming years?
The movement isn't a result of the Affordable Care Act. It's been around, even direct care was around prior to that. It's a movement that's based on the economics of healthcare and the fact that costs have gotten out of control. So whether or not the Affordable Care Act is repealed or not, we need to have higher deductible plans, because that's what insurance is for.
Right.
And then you pair that with paying out of your pocket, whether it's a concierge doctor or a direct primary care doctor, for all the health care that you're going to have during the year.
So why do we not see more direct primary care doctors and concierge doctors? Is it because the doctors don't want to practice that form of medicine, or the insurance companies have got their hand too much in the healthcare business and are controlling these premiums?
I love what Dr. O'Neill said. Doctors are not entrepreneurial by nature. We are trained to believe that we have to work for hospitals because that's how you get the best negotiated rates from the hospital. So I think the biggest limitation for doctors to practice this way, they desperately want to practice this way. There's articles every week in journals about doctors leaving the practice of medicine, opening gyms, restaurants, or working for insurance companies, ironically. Doctors want to practice this way, but they're afraid to, because the rest of the system is going towards these larger and larger hospital-owned networks called accountable care. And a doctor who knew this was available to them, I think, would jump ship from fee-for-service as quickly as I did 2 years ago. But there's just not that entrepreneurial spirit.
And I know you're working to raise awareness within the medical community and build this network. What's the reception been like from the medical community when you talk to doctors about direct primary care? What are they telling you?
They are very apprehensive about it. You think patients think it's too good to be true. Low monthly fee for all the care I need. Doctors find it hard to imagine that you can make a living by charging someone $60 a month and they can come in as often as they want. And talking about the Democrats
and Republicans,
doctors are afraid of the overutilizers. They're afraid that if they tell someone, you can come in as often as you want.
He's talking about the hypochondriac soccer moms.
That. But it doesn't happen that way. People in general are respectful of the physician's time, and there's no reason for a physician to be afraid of the economics of it, because it's simple. And they don't need to be afraid of people texting them or emailing too often, because it just doesn't happen.
Now, did you practice traditional medicine when you first came out of medical school? And how did you find the niche of direct primary care?
Yeah, I practiced for 17 years with the BayCare Health System. Love the BayCare Health System. I just can't work for them as a primary care doctor. Basically, I found, I'm sorry, repeat the question again?
I was saying, how did you find this niche, and did you work in traditional medicine before?
The only thing different about me is that I knew it was available. I was fortunate enough to have some leadership opportunities with the American Board of Family Medicine, so I was aware of Seattle and North Carolina where they're doing this model. My vision was to take this to business owners, and in Tampa Bay, I want business owners to have the opportunity to provide a health benefit to their employees at a low cost.
Yeah, and that's what, and Dr. Krall was a speaker at our last main event with the Tampa Bay business owners, and he was bringing awareness to the business owners. And I can tell you, a lot of them were kind of a little mystified by this, and they had a lot of questions for this. And so for the business owners that are out there listening, sell this on them as a benefit for their employees out there.
Yeah, the various factors which have caused the prices to go out of control have basically left the business owner in a quandary. I mean, business owners want to provide benefits to their employees. They're invested in the health of their employees. But giving your employees a high deductible plan that leaves them with thousands of dollars out of pocket is not a benefit anymore. So again, coming back to the game changer idea, once you have the ability of giving your employees access to their own personal physician with unlimited visits, their employees have no cost for any of their primary care because their employer is paying the membership fee. Mm-hmm. So that's a health benefit, because your employees can get better quicker when they're sick. They can get better care of their chronic illnesses. And we offer many alternative visit models: video visits, phone visits, texting, email. Your employees can go to the break room for 10 minutes and do a quick HIPAA-secure video visit and get back to work. So it's a huge return on investment for a business owner, not just because their employees are happier, healthier, more productive, but they miss less time from work because of the opportunity for alternate visit
Do you
models.
see the adoption of direct primary care and concierge medicine by the business owner through the benefits given back to their employees as being a primary driving factor in the overall success or the eventual success and of direct primary care in the future?
I think so. I think
they need to get on board.
As we mentioned, the number of family docs and internists that are doing this are small. This will just be a small undercurrent in the healthcare system, but if we engage business owners and make this a way for them to give benefits, it'll become a larger and larger wave, a very disruptive force.
And your fee is what you said, like $60 a month?
$50 or $60 a month, depending on age.
And so what do people get for that? They come in, I mean, how much time, first of all, would they get to spend with you on an initial consultation, for instance?
It's 1 hour visits, unlimited visits. It's texting, emailing. It's about the personal service.
I wondered what you would even do in there for an hour with a patient. I'm so used to the 5 minutes in and out. What are you doing in there?
He keeps games of Connect 4.
Yeah, y'all in there playing a card game or something with us? I mean, what are you going
I know,
through?
I'm so used to being 5 minutes in there, and they're like, oh, you're good, go home. And then that's it.
You know, patients are used to the physician having one hand on the doorknob. I love it. I often tell the story that a lot of times my patients will say, you know, after 45, 50 minutes, like, look, doc, I got to go. You know, I got a meeting I got to get to. So sometimes they're the ones that have to end the discussion.
Good discussion. You're currently talking to Dr. Eric J. Krall. He's a family physician and owner of MyDPC Doc Family Medicine. And you can learn more about this over at mydpcdoc.com. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com mycomputing.com.
Attention medical professionals. Have you heard that Tampa Bay will become the first certified wellness district in the country? Thanks to Jeff Fennick's revitalization of Channelside, the Dr. Whisperer wants to streamline your efforts in preparation. So when you're ready to ignite your practice, use the Dr. Whisperer's public relations expertise to spread the word. Use the Dr. Whisperer to motivate your staff. And use the Dr. Whisperer to recruit and secure leaders within your practice. Call the Dr. Whisperer today at 727-420-2481 or visit thedrwhisperer.com where they write your prescription for success.
And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
State Road 60 now closed in both directions for the next 10 days between Valrico Station Road and Skywood Drive. That's for railroad crossing repairs. Also, we've got slow traffic on southbound 275 between Fletcher Avenue and Sly. Northbound 275 between the Howard Franklin Bridge and West Shore. Delays on the westbound side of the Courtney Campbell Causeway near Rocky Point due to a crash, and one in Seminole on Seminole Boulevard and Park Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving supports victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
Today, near record heat with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 94. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance with a high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Talking to Dr. Eric J. Kroll, a family physician and owner of MyDPC Doc Family Medicine. You can learn more about him over at mydpcdoc.com.
Yeah, you spoke about the individual plan being $60 a month. Is there a family plan option that can go along with that, or is there?
It is. Yes, we have a family plan that's $150 a month, and that includes up to 2 kids, and then any additional kids after 2 would be $25 a month.
See, the talking monkey does come with some good questions every once in a while.
So, Dr. Carl, you're sharing with us in that last segment about how patients a lot of times are kind of hurrying you along inside these office visits versus the doctor trying to get out the door quickly. What are some of the other things that patients are saying, or some other stories you can share with us about your practice that people may not be aware of?
Well, my favorite question from a new patient calling is, Doctor, why would I pay you $60 a month when I have insurance? And people don't realize that when they have a direct care doctor, they're not just paying extra. What they're doing is they're hiring someone, as I said earlier, to help them get through the maze of the healthcare system. So, for example, a patient I saw recently who was kind of complaining about the membership fee, but when he left from his first visit, his healthcare costs went down $200 a month because I went through all of his meds and I found completely acceptable alternatives to all the meds he was taking that are going to cost him $200 a month less. So he netted $140 by signing up with me.
Interesting. Now, with regard to traditional insurance plan, this isn't sort of like where if you add a security system to your home, you can get reduced insurance rates. I mean, adding a primary care doctor doesn't necessarily give you any benefit towards reducing the insurance premium, does it?
It absolutely does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
You can take on a higher premium now that you have a doctor that can help you be a better steward of your deductible, so to speak.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, you might be afraid to take on an $8,000 or $10,000 deductible, but now if you have a doctor that you're paying out of your pocket every month that you can see as often as you need to, you might feel more comfortable going to the higher deductible, and now your monthly premium goes down, again, by more than the $60 a month that you're paying me.
So how do you get the buy-in for the consumers out there? I mean, do you spend more time discussing what primary care doc is and versus, taking the patient into the back and then going through their health needs? I mean, do you spend your time more doing just education on what this is?
It's definitely a learning curve, and so it's word of mouth from existing patients that is a better marketing force than anything I could do. So once people really understand it, how it helps them save money, they're not paying more money, then it works.
Now, what are some of the other benefits then that people can get from a primary care or a direct primary care, I should say, that they may not even realize? Obviously, you just gave a great example of, the patient who was complaining about the $60 a month, but you showed them how to save $200 on the backside through a different, prescriptions.
It's less need for urgent care. Another patient that I saw last month had a swimmer's ear, a very simple thing, and it was a Friday afternoon, of course. And on Saturday, I received a call that she wasn't getting better. And so I went into the office and saw her again and changed the treatment around. If she had a traditional physician, she would have had to go to urgent care, emergency room for that, and would have cost quite a bit. And like the patient I saw, who coincidentally the day after I saw him for the first time, texted me at 6 o'clock in the morning with a severe headache. And we talked through it. I went over all the emergency red flags. He did not have to go to the emergency room. I saw him before my first patient at 8 o'clock, and we treated him. So if he didn't have me, he would have spent thousands of dollars with CAT scans in the ear. He paid for his whole annual membership within 24 hours of signing up.
Not to mention you freed up the emergency room for people who actually have an emergency, because a lot of people go in there and they got a skinned knee, and then there's a guy with his ear hanging off his head, and he's sitting in the waiting room bleeding and waiting.
Right.
So it's an all-around good thing, right?
Now, you mentioned that the guy texted you. Do traditional doctors allow their patients to just send them random texts and they answer? Or
They do not.
I didn't think they would. So.
And by the way, we do use HIPAA-secure texting. It's all done above board. The videos that we do for video visits are a very secure, compliant video chat room for visits that way.
So you really do exercise yourself as a healthcare advocate for the individual. I mean, you're right there on their phone, available via text or email or a quick ring. I mean, do you put any type of restrictions on your hours? I mean, if somebody wants to call you at midnight or something, for instance, or do you have an answering service for that?
No answering service. If you call, you get me. It really is 24/7. And interestingly, once the hypochondriac realizes that they can get me whenever they need to, then they don't stress about, what if I can't get the doctor? And so they actually do call less and less over time once they have that 24/7 access.
Now, what if you have Medicare? I mean, does it work hand in hand with Medicare? How does your practice work with that?
Interestingly, Medicare does not allow for you to bill a monthly access fee or management fee. So I have lots of Medicare patients, but I am not a Medicare physician. In fact, I had to opt out of the Medicare program in order to be able to charge a monthly fee.
But people can still come to you and have Medicare and use your services hand in hand with Medicare?
Medicare's the perfect complement to what I do because my Medicare patients can use their Medicare anywhere else they go in the healthcare system. They're just paying to be able to see me as many times as they need to for that access.
Good information. What happens when somebody needs labs or x-rays, or if they need to go to an ER or a specialist or a hospital then?
It's mind-boggling. People don't understand how they're overpaying for services when they use their insurance because it's negotiated rates. I mean, you can get an MRI for $300, a CAT scan for $200, full physical labs for $80. You just need to know where to go to get those prices, and that's my job as their advocate, to help them use their high deductible well and save them money. Like I said, more than what they're paying to be a member of my practice.
So if we as a society can come together and exercise a direct primary care model, all of these services will come down in cost, right?
Exactly. People should shop on price, and it's not transparent enough for them to do that. But when they have a direct care doctor to help them do that, then they can use their high deductible for what it was meant to be used for.
Interesting, but tough to get the buy-in from the community. Definitely an uphill battle given our healthcare system.
I don't know. Hypochondriacs and cougar moms are probably jumping on this right now.
Dr. Krall, real quick, how can people get in touch with you, and what are your service areas too?
Currently,
where are you located, I should say?
Currently, I'm up in Lutz near the Suncoast Parkway by St. Joe North Hospital, and I can be reached at 813-321-1783, or I can be emailed directly on my website, drkrall@mydpcdoc.com.
All right, good discussion and very educational with Dr. Eric J. Krall. So thank you so much for being in studio today.
Thank you, Jamie.
And again, he is a family physician and owner of MyDPC Doc Family Medicine, where he practices direct primary care as an option towards to traditional healthcare practices. So learn more about this over at mydpcdoc.com. And also, he gave a great talk at our last main event through the Tampa Bay Business Owners. I'll put a link to that up in the show recap for people who would like to learn a little bit more. A lot of great questions came out of the audience from that event. And again, that'll be up on the show recap over at tampabayradio.com. And also thank you to Dr. Michael O'Neill, who was on in the first segment, founder of Cooperative Med, specializing in concierge medicine. Learn more about him, cooperativemed.com. Have a great morning, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.